night of April 3rd, Rachel and Jayla went to the police station. Out of nowhere, Rachel reportedly told officers that the abuse allegations weren't true. Her parents believe she was threatened or forced by Jelani to say this. After leaving the station, it's believed they returned to the family home. No one ever saw them alive again.
Wow!
Jelani security footage, cell phone data, and the home's motion sensors show he arrived just before 1:20 a.m. on April 4th. Then, gunshots rang out. A shotgun was fired inside the house.
A shotgun!
Tearing through the walls and landing in the yard and nearby areas. What investigators uncovered next is horrifying.
Like, you sat there, they went to the police, they didn't snitch on you, and then so for them not snitching on you, you unalive her? That don't even make sense, gang. Wow, you so stupid. Dad went wild. Daddy went crazy. Daddy tweaked out. I don't know how this happens, but it happened. Let's tap into it and see what it's talking about, man. Let's do it. Yes, Lord.
Blackshear, a correction officer, used a shotgun to shoot and kill.
He was a correctional officer?
And her mom.
You wouldn't wish this on anyone. I don't care how much you didn't like someone. This is a pain that no one ever wants to feel.
This evil father betrayed his daughter's trust.
Wait, whoa. I ain't gonna lie. No disrespect. Why you look like Phantom, low-key? No, my bad, Phantom. I don't mean to diss you, but why he low-key look like Phantom, gang? Hey, that's weird. Am I lying? Let me know down below. Am I tripping, chat? Let me know. Hey, that's crazy,
the most
bro.
horrifying.
What the hell?
14 years old Jayla Blackshear never imagined that her dad would ever do anything to hurt her. But one fateful night, when her mother was at work, he crossed the line and did the unthinkable. Despite her fear, Jayla found the courage to confide in her mother. But before this monster of a father could face justice for his unspeakable crime, he made a desperate and brutal move, ending the lives of his wife and daughter to bury his dark secret forever.
Evil!
This case is as gut-wrenching as it is horrifying. It forces you to question the very foundation of trust within a family and what lurks behind closed doors. But to better understand the story, let's start at the beginning.
Oh Lord, it's about to go down, gang.
Rachel Thompson grew up in Stockton, California, under the care of her loving mom, Jerry, and her stepfather, Anthony White. Anthony wasn't just a stepdad. He treated Rachel as if she were his own flesh and blood. As a child, she was full of life, headstrong, witty, and curious about everything. She loved to learn, and her spirit seemed unshakable, but life started throwing curveballs early. At just 16, Rachel found herself pregnant with her first son. Determined to build 16? A life, she married a military man and moved to Alaska. Together, they had 2 more sons, but their marriage fell apart, leaving Rachel a young divorcee in a state far from home. Instead of retreating, Rachel embraced Alaska, falling in love with its rugged beauty and peaceful nature. Her parents would say Alaska felt like her second soul. She threw herself into her new life, learning to snowboard, staying active, and surrounding herself with friends who became like family. She wasn't just surviving, she was thriving. Determined to make a difference, Rachel pursued nursing at the University of Alaska Anchorage, earning her bachelor's degree. She worked tirelessly, caring for elderly and disabled patients at Providence Transitional Care Center. By night, she specialized in oncology and hematology at the Alaska Native Medical Center. It was emotionally draining work, but Rachel was a light in the darkest of places. Her patients adored her, and her colleagues described her as bubbly and compassionate. She wasn't just a nurse.
They described her as bubbly and what does bubbly mean, y'all? Let me know.
It's a lifeline for so many. Then came Jelani Blackshear. Rachel met him while he worked as a correctional officer at the Anchorage Correctional Complex. At first, he seemed like a dream come true. A man who treated her kids as if they were his own. Someone kind, supportive, and ready to step up. They even had a daughter together, Jayla, during a rocky time in her first marriage. By the time Jayla was 6, Jelani was back in her life, stepping into the role of husband and father. Her parents adored him. He was warm, charming, and fit seamlessly into their family. He seemed to bring Rachel happiness, and her children were comfortable around him. On the surface, he was everything a family could hope for. But here's the thing, appearances can be deceiving. Behind closed doors, Jelani was not the man he pretended to be. While Rachel maintained the illusion of a happy marriage, her reality was far darker. Jelani wasn't just emotionally and physically abusive. His cruelty ran deeper. He was a predator, preying on the people he was supposed to protect and love.
Wait, what you mean by that, gang?
The truth about what happened in that home is horrifying. A nightmare that reminds us that monsters don't always lurk in the shadows. Sometimes they're the ones sitting at the dinner table, smiling like everything's fine.
What the hell?
Now, Jelani Blackshear had a pretty sketchy past. Court records show he had a history of domestic violence and even assault charges. In
Goofy.
2019, the Office of Children's Services, OCS, launched an investigation into the family. They found a whole mess of issues: domestic violence, unsafe conditions, you name it. But the incident that really shook everything happened when Jelani left his loaded gun on the table after coming home from his job as a corrections officer. His 4-year-old daughter from a previous relationship was visiting from Oklahoma at the time. Somehow, she got a hold of the gun and accidentally shot herself.
What?
A bullet went through her chest and
Oh
hit her
my
back.
God.
Like, let that sink in for a moment.
Oh.
Thankfully, she survived after emergency surgery, but can you imagine the trauma? When police questioned Jelani, his explanation was, let's just say, unbelievable. He claimed he had worked the night shift, left the gun out, and went upstairs to sleep.
I ain't
Then the
gonna lie.
sound of the
I ain't gonna
gunshot-
lie. I done had similar things like that happen to me before. I done heard similar stories like that, bro. And like when you used to having it, you literally or you ain't used to having it, or if you are used to having it, you just have it, right? And then you just put it down and you go do something. You'll completely forget about it. And I've seen that a lot of times, gang. That's crazy though, bro, that she did that, bro. But the fact that it was loaded is crazy. But I don't know.
Woke him up.
That's
And when
right.
he came downstairs, he found his little girl bleeding in the dining room.
Oh my
The
God.
other kids told him she must have shot herself. And get this, he said he usually kept around in the chamber because of
Tweaking.
bears.
Bears.
As if that explains leaving a
Bears.
loaded gun where a child
You think your Glock is gonna do something to a bear? I must be tweaking. What type of bears you got over there? Yo, Glocky is not gonna do nothing to no bear,
find
gang.
it. This landed him in court with 4 reckless endangerment charges, and it doesn't stop there. The whole situation prompted OCS to step in and take the kids into emergency custody. One investigator even noted that Reckle seemed so controlled by Jelani that she wasn't in a position to make good decisions for her kids. And honestly, she wasn't wrong. Later, Reckle admitted to her mom that this investigator was the only one who truly saw what was happening. But at the time, even Reckle's parents didn't fully grasp the danger. They thought the shooting was just a tragic accident. They still cared about Jelani and believed he didn't mean any harm. Jerry, Reckle's mom, even flew to Alaska to help out, teaming up with Reckle's biological father to make sure the kids could come back home during the investigation. Eventually, the kids did return, but things weren't the same. Reckle, worried about her daughter Jayla's safety, sent her to live with her grandparents in California for a while.
Oh, wow.
Jayla stayed there for about a year, and honestly, it was a happy time for everyone. Jerry adored having her granddaughter around. She described Jayla as a playful and mischievous little sister who loved to tease her brothers, but also had a heart of gold. At school, Jayla joined a club to make sure no one felt left out, and she dreamed of becoming a child therapist, just like her grandma. But as much as everyone loved having Jayla around, she had to go back to Alaska in 2021. For a moment, everything seemed calm, like maybe the worst was behind them. But you know how these stories go. That peace didn't last. And when things fell apart again, it wasn't just a small problem, it was a complete disaster.
Damn, that's crazy, y'all.
On the morning of March 30th, 2022, 14-year-old Jayla told her mom something that would shatter any parent's world, that her father, the man who was supposed to love and protect her, had hurt her in the worst way imaginable while Reckle was out working the night shift.
Man,
The awful
bruh.
event started after Jayla and her father argued about her sexuality. Jelani
What?
told her she couldn't be gay, and later that night did something horrific to prove it. He crossed a line that no loving father ever would, doing the
What?
unthinkable to his own child.
No, he did
You can
not.
only imagine how shattered Reckle must have felt after hearing this. But instead of freezing, she acted quickly. She took Jayla straight to the hospital, where they did an SA kit, and then contacted the police and Alaska Cares, a group that helps kids who've been through abuse. By
Right.
April 1st, the investigation was moving fast, with the police getting a warrant to collect Jelani's DNA. Meanwhile, the Office of Children's Services stepped in and filed for emergency custody of the kids.
So hold on, before we even keep going, gang. So you're telling me she liked women, she liked other girls, I'll say because she was younger, and her father didn't like that. Or he didn't like, her father didn't like that she like girls, and he said, I'm going to show you that you don't like girls? What do you mean by I'ma show you? Because if y'all think what I'm thinking and y'all think he did what I'm thinking he did to show her, I'm pretty sure she's gonna hate men more. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure that you are sick in the head, gang. Like, what? I know. So I'm just assuming. Let's continue the video, y'all. If y'all think what I'm thinking, man, I don't know, bro. But let me know what y'all thinking down below. But
The boys were put into foster care,
You
but
feel me?
strangely, Jayla wasn't placed in temporary housing right away. Rachel had also left Jelani by this point. She and Jayla were staying in a hotel outside the state while she made plans to file for divorce and move her family to California to be with her parents. It seemed like she was trying to take control and get her kids out of harm's way, but then things took a dark turn. On the night of April 3rd, Rachel and Jayla went to the police station. Out of nowhere, Rachel reportedly told officers that the abuse allegations weren't true. Her parents believe she was threatened or forced by Jelani to say this. After leaving the station, it's believed they returned to the family home. No one ever saw them alive again.
Wow.
Jelani was staying at a hotel, but on the night of April 3rd, he left his room and headed back to the house. Security footage, cell phone data, and the home's motion sensors show he arrived just before 1:20 a.m. on April 4th. Then, gunshots rang out. A shotgun was fired inside the house.
A
with slugs
shotgun?
tearing through the walls and landing in the yard and nearby areas. What investigators uncovered next is horrifying. After killing Rachel and Jayla, Jelani spun an elaborate web of lies. He took their phones and pretended to be them. Texted family members to throw everyone off his trail. He even contacted a friend in New York on April 4th, asking if he could stay with her. As days passed without any sign of Rachel or Jayla, family and friends became concerned.
You was
Rachel's
crazy.
cousin, Shannon Thompson, and other concerned family members begged the police to do a welfare check on them.
Right, but like, you sat there. They went to the police. They didn't snitch on you, and then so for them not snitching on you, you unalive her? That don't even make sense, gang. You stupid. They at that point they should have just snitched on you. Shit. What? That is wild, bro. Whoa, like what?
Officers went to the home multiple times, but didn't notice anything unusual until April 15th. That's when they finally forced their way inside.
11 days
what
later?
They found was horrifying.
11 days later.
Rachel and Jayla were dead in a bedroom.
Oh
Rachel
my
had
God.
been shot 4 times in the head and chest.
Oh my
and
God.
Jayla had 2 gunshot wounds to the head. A handgun, registered to Jelani, was found at the scene, along with a knife that had no blood on it. There were also signs of red spatter in the room. With this discovery, the police immediately named Jelani as their prime suspect
Goofy
and
as
launched
hell,
a manhunt.
what?
They found out he'd quit his job and left Alaska on April 7th.
Oh, he did the
what made
race.
things even worse
He
was that
gone.
just 2 days before Rachel and Jayla were found, DNA from Jayla's assault kit came back matching
Oh
Jelani.
my
The charges against him were
God.
filed on April 13th.
Oh my
but by
God.
then, the damage was already done. A nationwide manhunt began. Local and federal agencies worked together to track Jelani down, and on April 20th,
He went to Florida?
U.S. Marshals arrested him in New York City. His escape was over.
Now at 5:30, a suspected double murderer from Alaska is found hiding on Staten Island. A raid by Homeland Security
Staten
agents
Island.
and NYPD detectives ended this cross.
Oh, he went to New York. So he went from Alaska all the way to New York to do the race. This dude wild.
search. And now this double murder mystery has a disturbing twist. Chief Investigative Reporter Jonathan Dienst has more now. John.
Adam, the suspected Alaska killer hiding here in New York is also an accused.
Wow!
Agents and police.
He really did
earlier
it.
Today,
He
making
really
arrests
did it too.
in the Emerson Hills section of Staten Island. 39-year-old Jelani Blackshear taken into custody after an Alaska to New York manhunt. Investigators searching the Harold Street home where he was believed to be hiding out. They say Blackshear, a correction officer, used a shotgun to shoot and kill his 14-year-old daughter and her mom back on April 15th. This after the teen accused him on March 30th of her. Prosecutors say
That's crazy, bro. That is crazy. So you get accused of that, so you go and unalive them because you got accused of that. Yeah, that makes the case more better. You're definitely gonna finesse that case, right? Like, you're goofy as hell, gang. What are you thinking? That's how you know he was guilty and he knew he did it. He knew, like,
positive
man,
for
bro.
sex assault. knowing he was under investigation. But before those DNA results came in, Anchorage police say Blackshear went on a rampage. They say he quit his corrections officer job and then went home and shot his daughter and her mom. They say Blackshear next fled Anchorage and flew here to New York. He was considered armed and dangerous.
Bro, fried.
Had a hearing in Brooklyn federal court this afternoon. A judge ordered him held without bail, pending his return to Alaska on the double murder and child abuse charges.
In Alaska, dude, this is crazy, bro.
Jelani faced a judge in New York and was ordered to return to Alaska to face the consequences of his actions. Back in Alaska, news of the murders shook everyone who knew the family. Friends and neighbors were heartbroken, asking themselves how they could have missed the signs. How could they not have seen what was happening? For Reckles' parents, the loss was unbearable. Not only did they lose their daughter and granddaughter, but they were left to care for 3 children who had just lost their mom. The tragedy didn't just break hearts. It left a haunting question. How could someone so evil hide in plain sight?
Nah, that's how it is though, but that's how it happens, bro. When I'll say, like, when a couple goes out in public, right? They'll go out in public and they'll act like everything is fine, but behind closed doors, they're beefing, they're arguing, they're struggling financially, there's abuse going on. Like, there's always couples like that, and it's with a lot of couples. I'm gonna say like 7 out of 10 couples. That's going on. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad, bro. It's sad because it should never happen like that. Like, if you really feel some type of way towards somebody, just walk away, gang. Like, that's how I think, because what are you doing, bro? Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. What's y'all input on this, man? Let me know, man. What y'all think?
You can imagine.
Like, and you would
Just
never know about this.
Heartbreaking story tonight. An Elk Grove family is mourning the murder of their daughter and granddaughter.
My daughter was a victim of domestic violence.
Yes.
It was carefully hidden. It appears that the violence would happen infrequently enough that my daughter felt that she could endure.
35-year-old Rachel Blackshear and her daughter Jayla were found dead in Anchorage, Alaska. Police arrested 39-year-old Jelani Blackshear, the husband.
You hear that? 39 years old doing this, gang. So you already lived, bro. I'm only 22. You basically already lived almost my whole life twice, bro. Almost, bro. And you really doing that? That's embarrassing, bro.
Island, New York, lost connection to the double homicide.
Man,
It
bro.
forced us into a painful new reality that you wouldn't wish this
on nobody.
I don't care how much you didn't like someone. This is a pain that no one ever wants to feel.
Now, according to Anchorage police, officers did a welfare check on Blackshear's home, and that is when they found the mom and daughter dead. Now her family back in Elk Grove wants the public to hear one important message.
I do want to get the word out about domestic violence, that if you suspect something, to say something, and I know that it might mean jeopardizing
a friendship
or access, but I feel like it's worth that to keep them alive. You just don't know how it's going to end.
That's
Several
crazy.
memorials were held for Rachel and Jayla, one of which was organized by Jayla's friends and classmates, who gathered to pay their tributes and remember her for the amazing person she was. In May 2022, a grand jury indicted Jelani on 2 counts of first-degree murder, 4 counts of second-degree murder, 2 counts of first-degree essay of a minor, 2 counts of incest, 2 counts of tampering with physical evidence,
That's crazy
and 1
charge,
count
bro.
of first-degree
That made some
forgery.
crazy
His bail
charges.
was set at $15 million. Prosecution describing him as a danger to everyone.
Oh God, he was. And if you was one of his homies and you bailed him out after he did that, you worse than him.
including his own family. During the bail hearing, one of the investigators from the Office of Children's Services spoke up about just how terrifying Jelani was. In her statement, she revealed that she and her co-workers were genuinely afraid of what he might do if he got out of jail.
Oh my
She
God.
didn't mince words, saying, "Mr. Blackshear is the most sophisticated, manipulative, controlling, and dangerous parent I've ever dealt with in the past 14 years."
Hey, that is a crazy story, bro. I'm not even gonna lie, but like the fact that you do that to your wife and your daughter is crazy, gang. This why mental health is very important, bro. Because mentally, he was gone. He snapped. He literally snapped. I don't know, bro. I don't know if you was crazy. I don't know if you was a tweaker, but he snapped, bro. And it just, that's crazy, man. May they all both rest in peace, man. I said condolences to her family. I'm gonna say her family. You feel what I'm saying? He go in the trash. You feel what I'm saying? Sit in the center the rest of your life, gang. You bogus as hell for that. You feel what I'm saying? But this video right here is wild. I ain't even gonna lie, man. Y'all stay up out the way. Stay safe, man. Watch how y'all keep around you, because there'll be somebody you've known for a long time and they could just snap like that, or you could just snap like that out of nowhere. That's why you gotta, mental health is very important, gang. That is the most important type of health you can have, mental, bro. Swear to God, gang, man. This video crazy. I ain't even gonna lie.